Welcome to the Online Course Creator Show, the podcast where we talk all about launching and scaling your online course specifically for female entrepreneurs. Now, today's episode is episode 72. I am talking all about a very, very common mistake that I see course creators making on repeat, and it's something that I find so frustrating to watch from the outside, and I know it is affecting the long-term results or possibilities that you are actually fully able to achieve with an online course. But unfortunately, this mistake actually creates a situation where you never actually get to see those true results, which is the very reason you're creating an online course, right? So today I'm going to dive into that. If you are listening for the first time, welcome. My name is Lou Blakely. I am your host. I am a coach who helps you with creating online courses, with scaling them, and actually creating the life that you love, getting your time back, having that amazing time freedom and financial freedom in our business and in our lives. So I'm going to dive straight into it today. The mistake that I see 90% of course creators making is not a mistake that happens in the first launch. And quite often it doesn't happen in the second launch either, but it happens after that. So the mistake that I see over and over again is launching once or twice, usually twice at least, doing all of that hard work because we know that the first launch there is a lot to do, right? And then deciding it's all too hard and binning the idea because it feels too difficult. That's one scenario. Or the other reason for doing this is because you feel a little bit bored, like you've kind of ticked that one off your list and it's time to reinvent the wheel, find something new and exciting to do because we're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we love the new and exciting, right? So you get to start feeling a little bit bored and you have that want to create something new and exciting. So you feel like, I've launched that course a couple of times now. Maybe it's time to create a new offer. Okay, so the mistake is that you're either quitting after a couple of launches because it feels too hard, or you're quitting on that offer in particular because you're bored, you want something new and exciting, and you're thinking, hey, I've got this great idea for a new offer, online course. I'm going to go and work on that project instead. Now, this is a huge mistake because when it comes to online courses, the real wins are made when you actually make a longer term commitment to it, right? So I recommend that when you go into launching a course that you're looking at it from the viewpoint of what can I do within a 12-month period, not what is my first launch going to look like, and then letting that dictate what you do afterwards. And maybe that's even your second launch, right? So I truly believe, and I know this, if you stick at this and look at it from a 12-month viewpoint at the very minimum, which could be 4 launches or more, then absolutely everything will change for you. And that's where the real magic lies. The key is to actually allow yourself to get a little bit bored. Like, you don't get bored in that first launch. You feel like it's the biggest effort ever. And you've just done so much, created everything from scratch. Like, you create the sales page, the offer, the actual course itself, all of the marketing, the webinar, all of that stuff, the social media posts, the email sequences. You're creating so much in that first launch. So you do not have time to be bored, like you're head down, right? But what you are doing is you're actually building a machine that gets to be repeatable in your business that you can use over and over again. But the problem is we do all that work, we launch once, that all goes well, or we see improvements that we can possibly make, we launch again, we repeat the process, and then I really start to see this happening around the 3rd or 4th launch where we start to look, well, what else can I do? That kind of thing. You can see that I'm really passionate about this, and I have witnessed 90% of people doing this when it comes to online courses, and if you just stick at it, actually allow yourself to be bored. Allow yourself to have already done the work in the past. Actually allow yourself to rinse and repeat. That's where the true ease comes. That's where the actual freedom comes. That's where the systems come that create that freedom. And with all of that, this is where the real payoff from creating that online course actually comes. But if you don't allow yourself to get to that point because you have shiny object syndrome, you're feeling a little bit bored, or maybe you're just a little bit disappointed with your results so far, then you're actually never going to get to experience the real true wins that come from this amazing business model and all of the amazing things it can give your life if you are looking at it from a very short-term lens. Sometimes I actually think that we are addicted to reinventing the wheel. We are almost addicted to the hard, when actually sometimes we just need to allow ourselves to feel a little bit bored, to feel like we're not reinventing the wheel, that nothing's new and shiny, and that we just get to be in that process of rinsing and repeating. Our brains don't really thrive on that, but it is where the wins totally come. And especially if you've got a bit of a spicy brain, which I think many of us do, we're often looking for that shiny object to distract us from that mundane, from that repeatable work. But that's actually where you'll get a product that you're constantly making better, which means that it's going to get better results. Like, we are launching our minimum viable product the first time around, and we were making it better with the feedback of seeing people go through it. If we're only doing that once or twice, then we're really limiting how good that product or online course actually gets to be. We're also missing out on an income that starts stacking. So if you have a signature course that's valued at, around about $1,000, and your audience is growing in between times, what we can see happening once we launch that over and over again is our income starts to stack. So we've got the payment plans and then the new launch, the fresh revenue coming in, and the income from that really starts to build up over that year period, instead of just looking at it like one launch, how much did I make? We also start to see more and more testimonials coming in, which are always amazing. Case studies, all of that kind of stuff really helps us even expand beyond what we're currently doing with each and every launch. So they help our launches get better. Another thing that you're missing out on and you're not getting to experience if you call it quits and move on to another project within a few launches is the fact that the launching is a repeatable process. We set up the machine in our first launch, but when we get to repeat that over and over again, we get much better at launching ourselves, and we get to know the ups and downs of launching and how to manage that, and strategies to move through a launch better and all of that kind of thing. But we also get to add all the bells and whistles to our launches that we didn't get to the first time. So we get into a position where we are able to keep improving our conversion rate and, really make that machine that we've built into a well-oiled machine. We only get there by repeating the process. And I'm going to be honest with you, launching twice is not going to be enough. So look at it with that 12-month goal at the very minimum, and then imagine what you can do in that time. And then imagine what you can do if you stick at it after that point. Like, this is where the real life-changing stuff comes in. When you repeat the process over and over again, you're also able to develop systems within your business that are so streamlined you can build a team who know exactly what to do, and your launches start to feel way more effortless, but you're getting the increasing results over time. So today I really want to challenge you to stop looking at launching as this one-off thing that you're going to do and see how it goes, and you're going to try it out and you're going to put all of this work in and then never launch it again. Like, even if your first launch, you don't get the results that you thought, don't ditch it. Don't walk away. Actually reassess and go, what happened here? Why didn't this go according to my plans, and actually make those changes and then do it again, right? Because there's no doubt there's a lot of work that has gone into that. But I see this happening actually with people who have really successful first launches, second launches, third launches, and then they go, okay, I'm on to the next thing. So I really want to encourage you to actually don't even give yourself that option. Like, commit to it and give yourself that 12-month period. The first part of that, of course, is going to be building building the machine, that launch system, and doing the work that, you're never going to have to do that volume of work again. And then you are in the stage of rinsing and repeating, growing your email list, and that is where you truly get to grow. But if you give up after a couple of launches, you feel like you want to move on to the next thing, you feel like you want something new and exciting in your business, or you've got this great idea for a new offer, do what you can to resist that urge and actually focus on keeping everything simple, focusing on what you've already built. Allow yourself to get bored and really see where this thing can take you with consistency, with focus, with that rinse and repeat focus, so that you can really benefit from this online business model. Because honestly, if you're just always looking to the next thing for a little bit of dopamine, for a little bit of excitement, that you're not really going to see those rewards if you're constantly shifting from one thing to the next. And let's not forget, the more you launch, the more well-known your course is becoming. You are building a brand around your course. You're building a brand around your business. And over time, this is just going to have that compound effect so that you can grow that truly profitable freedom business that you've always wanted. So that is my rant for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you love listening to this podcast, I'd love for you to go on and leave a review. It would mean the world to me. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, course creators and go-getters. You're incredible, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe in your podcast app so you don't miss an episode. If you'd like to find out more about what I offer, head across to loublakely.com. See you next time.